go behind her, why you are absent? Because you are very interested. So of late, she was able to confide that she is undergoing this many problems, and she even brought and showed her medical records and all those things. Once she showed that, then I was behind her, supporting her in all that. So whenever she was absent for the examination, special examination was given with the help of the principal and all those things. As far as physics is considered, this is okay. But the same thing with the mathematics, chemistry, every teacher she cannot go and explain. So I was the one who was going and explaining that she is not well. The teacher started coaching me that you are supporting all kind of students. So for every teacher, I cannot give the secret. So because it was a bigger mental illness. So later on, I approached their family, their parents. So why and what, how they have to cope up with her. So many things happened. She went up to 4th semester, and later on she discontinued and disappeared also. Okay, she is not in touch. So there are quite a few PCOD students. Okay, so they were of course somehow handled because they were in the one level above the harsh psychiatric students. This is also one where we have to address. From morning we have addressed blind, physically disabled and other aspects. But there is a whole lot of students who are mentally disabled. There was one student, 1 or 2 admissions came last year. Some of the students, while in the counseling session, they turn it off. That's, I would not say, but it happens. Okay. So when a student comes, the whole entire institution as a whole, that is where comes the mindset. All of us together. So science is a joyful learning, and we are all blessed to learn science and to enjoy it. So now, percolating that joy to the other category of the students is a noble cause. So now, this is one part of the story. The other part of the story, being a teacher and being as a principal and science communicator, now I was thinking, from morning I was thinking, solution orientation. See, I am a teacher sitting in a college in a classroom, and this is a whole lot of representation across the country. So many things are happening. If it is to be result oriented, how we can go about? How it works for me is what I was thinking. So how it works for me, I was thinking, and I made a few points as well. So when it comes to making approach to differently abled society, it has to be inclusive. So we have to approach with 2-3 models. The one is we need intellectual resource, another is infrastructure resource, another third part is execution. When it comes to intellectual resource, there is no doubt because it can be pulled from across the globe, from wherever you are sitting. We can pull it also both in terms of physical and in terms of through internet. So in the intellectual resource, again 2 parts. So one to think from point of view of disabled person, another about the actual subject. So physics, there is an experiment on diffraction. The experiment of the diffraction, its modalities, its vibrance and other thing. How exactly all these vibrance can be brought down to a disabled person? When I said disabled person, it is a multivariate. Every disabled person is unique. He may be orthopedically, he may be visually, he may be any other form. So we need to approach 2 kinds. One is the subject wise, another is the same subject, how it can be made approachable to disabled persons. So each set of approach demands various sensors and other things, and integration of that to computers. It is a must when it comes to disabled persons. So every experiment, one is making it actually happen on the table, another is to integrate with the computer. Ultimately, centrally content is the key. Okay, so that we need to have a central repository that could be built and could be transported across the country. Because from the morning, as we have seen, it is only in the IIT 0.22% they said. The admission is 0.22%. Probably in the rest of the institution, the admission to science is dwindled. So, ಎಷ್ಟು ಈ ವರ್ಷ state ಅಲ್ಲಿ maybe 10-15,000 across the state. BSc is hardly very few thousands. In that, what is happening practically is, see, with all this approach, if we approach the management or even the government, okay, it will cost lakhs of rupees. Okay, they may not spell it out they may see it better close the course and you also go home. They are giving the ground reality. Okay? So they may not mean it, but that is a situation. It is a arised out of situation. So in this context, we are living in this context, but still we should be optimistic. Okay, students are coming and we have to do it. So this, whether it's the government or the private college or any other higher education institution, so execution, making execution possible is only possible with the help of local help. That we have to work like a synthetic structure. So alone we cannot. A single person, maybe any amount of money given, as he said, the money is in the bank, they cannot use it. A single person cannot. We have to come together and they have to use it. So now, so 2.21% of the total Indian population is disabled. In this context we are doing. So what I thought was, that's my personal thinking. Every institution, IIT has already started. That is what I was feeling. The nucleation has already started. That's why I immediately asked, how many experiments you have converted for the disabled? They said all the first semester experiments they have done. That's a wonderful beginning actually. So and then like that, we can ask every IIT or the IASc or the institute which is willing to develop one set of experiments for disabled. One institute completely for optics, another institute completely for heat, another institute completely for that, and then pull them together and have a repository. Because when a student comes to me for the first semester, it may be only one student. For the one student,